Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
I'm Brian Shoemaker. I am a local attorney at State Farm, and I am also the Bloomington Normal Sunrise liaison to, I hope this doesn't automatically turn on, to our Rotaract group. So today's talk is the roller coaster of Rotaract. Bloomington Normal had a Rotaract club many years ago. I think yours was started
A long time ago.
a long time ago,
Long.
mostly associated with ISU.
Yes.
And so several of our, we have, I'd say, quite an active youth services group in Sunrise. We have over 100 members, and so we can sustain that. And some of our members, Dana Vogelmeyer, some of you may remember her, she moved, but she said, you would be perfect to start a Rotaract club. I said, oh, that sounds great. I want to get involved. I want to do something. What's Rotaract? I've never heard of it. And it's, to me, kind of an awful name to attract young members. Rotary, as you guys probably know, comes with its own mental image for most folks. As soon as you say Rotary, they don't exactly think youthful fun. I think our club is sort of the antithesis of that, but that's not exactly what people think. And Rotaract for me is even worse. I had to explain it over and over again to potential members in what it was and what the goals of it is and all of that. So this talk this breakout session is mostly about what we've learned over the last few years in trying to develop a really, as passionate as Sunrise Rotary is about being a Rotarian, getting Rotaract folks to get involved in the community too. Rotaract is for, its primary focus is for members 18 to 30. Once you reach 30, you're supposed to age out, and in theory, then join a local Rotary club. And so it was attracted to Sunrise for that purpose too, as a possible feeder for younger members. And I'd say we struggled, we continue to struggle. I'm sorry, and I didn't introduce Bailey. Bailey is our current president of Rotaract.
Yeah.
In fact, we were supposed to have an event tonight, but we had to cancel due to lack of interest. So Bailey will pop in here anytime she feels like it with stories.
It was a haunted trail, so I'm gonna go with everybody was too scared. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
So you see, I point out Rotaract to me isn't the best name, but that's not up to me, right? That's up to Rotary International, because it does immediately ask the person selling it, you should join Rotaract. It's confusing. You have to explain it, and that is one hurdle we have realized as part of the process.
But just like we're like Bloomington Sunrise and there's Daybreak, could you come up with a cool name and just be like, we're racked in tiny letters underneath it?
Maybe.
And get rid of that terrible logo, but I'm just saying,
It's not a bad idea.
there just needs to be a little rebrand, a little shift there.
And I have to say, so let me talk about the certification process. You have to have at least 10 members sign a certification for Rotary International to certify you, and that sounds super easy, and it wasn't. We would have, I'd say, 5 to 8 people who were always solid, coming to the meetings, ready to participate, ready to do stuff, and so I couldn't start the name change process until I could get us certified as a club. But I agree. So you brainstormed a new name.
No, I'm old.
For us. We'll use it. I know. That's how I feel. Everybody's like, oh, are you a member of Rotaract? No, thank you. I am not. I'm the club sponsor. I turn 40 next year, so. Wow.
I actually was talking to a potential member, and he can never remember the name of Rotaract, so he keeps calling it the Tesseract Club. So if anybody knows Marvel,
That's better.
Right. I feel like that would really engage more people.
Why is that better?
Well, Tesseract, isn't that like Marvel? Like everybody likes superheroes.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is a better name.
Right. That will connect.
Superhero.
I agree.
Yeah. That too, and we're superheroes in Rotaract. So Tesseract, we might have a thing going there.
Yeah, that's intriguing.
I hinted on this next bullet. Rotary has a community reputation, I think, for being a very positive influence on the community, but generally for, at least for what my wife thought, retirees. I remember when I joined Rotary, she was like, "Why are you doing that?" And I had to explain to her, no, that's Rotary's actually for all walks of life, all ages of folks, all types of interests, and so that's what attracted me to it. Most of my friends are between 35 and 40. So now I know people of all ages doing all different types of things. So overcoming that is not just a Rotaract problem, but it's a Rotary problem, right? We all have membership issues in that regard. So Brittany Mitchell she co-sponsored it with me. In fact, my initial goal was I just need warm bodies. I just need to get a few people in a room and let's start giving a few tasks out and it will organically grow. That was the idea that initially started. So I started doing info sessions all around the State Farm. It started at a time when we were sunsetting our own young business professionals group at State Farm, which was wildly popular. It was huge. It was controversial that we were sunsetting it. The decision for doing so was because Bloomington was no longer the only hub of State Farm, right? We started to open up these huge hubs across the country. So they thought, you can't just have a Bloomington normal hub. And I was like, yes, I'll get all these people who are bitter but motivated and we'll make them part of Rotaract.
Rotaract.
Yeah, Rotaract.
Rotaract. Oh,
We'll
I'm
show
really
you.
on that.
So, and it worked a little bit in that we were able to seize on that these folks who really did want to be part of an executive board, and Brittany knew half of them because Brittany's 10 years younger than me, and so we just pulled all these people together. We had 3 info sessions across 6 months or so, and we got a group of 10 to 15 people who seemed like yes, and I made promises I probably wasn't going to be able to keep, but part of that was cash. Sunrise will pay for most of what you're doing. At least initially, so that we can get you going. No membership fees, just make an impact in the community. That's what we're asking. Pick your focus. It doesn't have to be anything Sunrise does. It doesn't have to be anything Rotary has a passion. You pick your passion, build a club around it, we'll pay for it. So that story sold pretty well. They were pretty excited. And I think our first problem was we told people what they were going to be. So we were like, you're the social chair, and you're the president, and you are the treasurer. And we sort of aligned it. So like, I'm sure if you were a part of it, I would have been, you're the treasurer, because you're in financial services. But we were trying to make it, we were purposeful about it. Oh, he's got this personality and she has that personality. They'll work really well together. And it completely backfired. It was an enormous amount of drama. Because a lot of them came from this State Farm group, I was getting IMs at work, I was getting emergency meetings over lunch, and I was just like, what is this drama and this nonsense? And so I went to Dana, and I said to Dana, what am I doing wrong? This is insane that there's this much drama. Everybody's a professional. They're all working professionals. We purposefully avoided the colleges. We didn't want the university students involved because I thought they would just flake, oh, there's a football game. I'm not going to this thing now or whatever. And so I thought business professionals with, steady employment and will just be a solid way to start. And it was so dramatic. And so I think that is probably any group. I mean, it's any group is going to come with its own soap opera. And I have to give it to them. Most of them stuck to it. So there were a few people who at first were like, "I want you to know I'm not having fun, but I'm not going to give up." And so then I get, why aren't you having fun? What's the, we want you to have an impact on the community, but you should be having fun while you're doing it. Why aren't you having fun? And it was just, they mostly get along with the leader, but I didn't know how to unseat the leader without the whole thing crumbling beneath it. So I thought, well, we'll just ride out this term of the president. Everybody hold on, we'll get you a great president after that. Sorry. And it'll work, just hold on. But they couldn't. I mean, they were just dropping like flies as it went, and we lost all this momentum. And at some point we plateaued. So the people who had said, no, I'm sticking around, they stuck around, and we probably had probably like it exists today, 5 to 8 people who are always at everything, doing all the work. Recently, there's been some even more turnover because some key folks got new jobs and moved away. So we had a fall kickoff, and we're building again, I'd say. But the small group has been mighty. I mean, we had a lot of great speakers come out and talk to the group. We meet at a free place, the community healthcare clinic in town has a great meeting space for free, and it's kind of centrally located. I won't go into all these speakers, but they have kept a regular.
Rotary, that seems good.
That was great.
That was a good one.
We're trying to put another one of those on the calendar for sure.
That one we got to redo again. And a wide range of stuff that we participated in. Some Sunrise related, some completely found on their own. I'd say the group's initial focus was animal rescue related, because that was that leader's passion, and so lots of, you see Humane Society on there, but it was a small group, but they did a lot of stuff, and they like I said, they kept it going. Membership has always been an issue. So I'd say this was a 2019 presentation I'm ripping off. Navigating through establishing a new organization, I'd say we're still trying to find what is the group's passion. What do we really want to, what would be the hook that the JCs have in town? The JCs have a big beer event that raises a decent amount of cash for some local not-for-profits. How does Rotaract attract the same type of membership? And is there a big event we can do? Those are things we keep talking about.
Although I know from the fact that even the JCs this year with the Brugula, they lost some leadership people. It was a little more challenging, wasn't as organized. So, I think every group, and that's an established group, and they're struggling with people transitioning out of the community.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
They just lost
people
some really good people that running the show.
Yeah. So
that makes us feel
you guys are
better.
trying to
for sure.
You guys are trying to start, from zero, when even this established group, you get a couple of strong people and everyone else can just kind of great, I'll follow along.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm curious, because I'm thinking about something that our speaker last night said, and that's find out, or maybe it was during the lunch, but why are they there? Why are they there? What do they want? Do they want, they want to connect with these speakers that are coming in, and learn about that? Do they want to do service? Do they want, why are they there?
So Bailey, don't be shy.
Oh yeah.
But I think we're still struggling with that. In fact, when people leave, not that we have exit interviews or anything, but I think that's the most common thing. This isn't worth my time right now. I have time to give, and I want to give it. I'm passionate about giving it.
Is it because?
Can I say something?
Oh yeah.
Well, why are you there? You're not there to entertain your group, and they shouldn't be coming to your group to look for entertainment.
Yeah.
They're a service organization. You need people that are going to realize why they're there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Julie Dobsky's saying this year. Why am I here?
But when it comes down to it, people choose to have fun, and if there's service involved too, that's double benefit. But if it's going to be going to a football game or doing something that wasn't fun because of leadership, I can see why they're going to make that choice. Are they, what tripped their trigger when you were talking about the group? Was it, we're going to do these things and it will, it's all self-serving a little bit, it'll bring attention to you, it's a good resume builder, it's a good, like.
There's no doubt the resume building was a part of it.
Yeah, you will rub elbows with other leaders in
Yeah.
the community that will open doors for you, like what's gonna really trip their trigger? And maybe everything is kind of scheduled with, and you'll be getting to meet with this group while you work on this, and kind of pitch it for the
self-interest.
the self-interest, I mean, honestly.
Enlighten self.
Enlighten self-interest, there you go.
I like that. We're gonna do that.
I do like
Enlighten
that.
self-interest.
My high school social studies teacher.
Yeah.
Have you reached out to other Rotaract groups in the area, plus through the internet? Because there's a lot of Rotaract clubs that do really big things.
Yes, great question. So, in fact, we just had the Champagne Club come over for our fall event, and he was mostly just curious because it looked, and it was a success. I shouldn't say it like that, but it could have been much bigger.
Yes, agreed.
We spent a decent amount of cash making, having it at a great location with great food, and we were ready to attract some people with alcohol.
Yeah.
We were really ready to if you show up, we're gonna show you a good time. And the Champagne Club came as a result because they were like, oh, this looks about as shiny as it could. And so they drove all the way here, and I'm sure walked in and they were like, we're the only ones here. I'm being a little dramatic, but I was like, oh, the Champagne Club came. Hi. Nice to meet you. But he said, this makes me feel so much better. We have the exact same events.
Yeah.
And nobody comes, and we make it as good and as attractive as we can, and we say all the right things, and we can't get them to show up. So then we have this legitimate bonding where it's like, oh shoot, and they have two clubs, they have U of I and a separate club, and both of them, it's like
So people
this.
are in the club that don't show up?
Yeah, or
So they had like 20 people when they got going, and then they hit those issues. Everybody's coming. All of a sudden, there's like 4 or 5 of them there.
and you lose that's what Nick was saying, is you lose one good strong leader who graduates or gets a new job, and the whole thing just disintegrates.
Well, you're dealing with young professionals though, that I just, with the young people and their electronic community, their social life, a lot of projects can be built around that. And maybe that's what's going to interest them, plus attract instead of doing a project trying to attract me, doing projects that's going to attract your own millennial group or
Right.
whatever group you're in.
And we really want our group to decide what we do and what their skill set is. So, with the 5 or 8 people that we have, we're always asking, what projects do you guys want to do? So one example that we did is we built cubbies for the Boys and Girls Club, because Boys and Girls Club is something that a lot of the people in our group were passionate about, and we had 2 people who knew how to woodwork. That was not me. So I was just learning. So I think, us trying to reach out and trying to figure out what this group wants to do has really helped. But I agree, I think reaching out on social media and getting more ideas from other groups, I think that would be really beneficial. And so I'm really excited for this partnership with Champagne.
Well, I guess what I'm thinking is through the social contacts of your present members, build a following. And I mean, as you know, that can build quickly if you do it right.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to be a lot more intentional about using Facebook, because we would just send out emails and those weren't really, nobody was reading them.
Yeah.
So I am trying to be more intentional about using Facebook and putting pictures out there of what we're doing, and even if there's one person there, we're gonna put a picture out there. So people who are coming in the community and maybe you're looking up Rotaract or Rotary see that we're actually present and want to come. So I am trying to use social media a little bit more.
And one of the most active events, or popular I would say, is volunteering at the Midwest Food Bank.
Yes, yep.
So several times we would replace the membership meeting with the 2 or 3 hours at Midwest with a meeting sort of before it, saying here's some things we're doing and thinking about. That was really popular. So there's something about also, we don't just want to show up and listen to a speaker.
Yes.
Somebody said that. we want to actually spend the time doing things. So we need to work that angle
Yeah, we
more
do.
too. Sorry.
You had mentioned that you had a lot of people from State Farm. How do you reach out to other professions? Because that makes a more interesting group.
Great point.
Yes.
And that was a battle and continues to be an issue because some of our most active members also all work together.
Yeah.
Right? That's how they got folded
And I'm
in.
like tired of those people.
Right.
So when I go to Rotaract, I like to see some new faces.
And for a while, we had some Grow Mark folks, we had some country, we had a number of agricultural, just completely outside of State Farm, and that was great. But you lose one or two, and now we're all
Yeah.
back to our
We
core
don't
State
have
Farm
that
group.
connection.
So it's, but great point. We do need to diversify where folks are coming from, and it's just hard to get the word out.
Yeah. Yes. We do have one, I think she's going to be a new member, that works at ISU. So I'm really, really excited about that.
Great.
Um,
I met her. At the-
Yeah, Katie.
yes.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that because she has, the ISU contacts now too, and to bring those in, and possibly some students, like Brian said, we don't necessarily target them, but we would love to.
Yeah.
have
No. Anyone.
Anybody.
Well, is there a student group? I keep asking this. Is there a student Rotaract on it separately?
No.
There isn't one at ISU?
No, not
Okay.
anymore.
Okay, so.
There used to be one, but I think again it sort of fizzled annually,
Sure.
and so it was really a
Your advisor
couple
had that same
professors.
problem.
Yeah.
I met him one time and I swear there was only 2 people.
Yeah.
And the officer's going, okay, I gotta rebuild. It's like, yeah, I think, But, okay, so my question is, so you've got a big club, 130 some members or whatever. How many of those members could go out and kind of recruit for Rotaract?
I
do
was
you
just gonna say, I
do they
think I
do
might
that?
know people from, actually through Green Top, there's a lot of young
Oh, yeah.
folks that are very, I guess, community minded. Even actually a couple on our board who are young, that they might find this to be a really, I guess, an add-on to things they already kind of care about,
Well, and I guess I would say, please invite them. You give us their names, we will track them down.
We will.
But in large part, every time leading up to this fall event, all the information sessions, anytime we're doing anything, I'm out there in front of the group saying, we're having this event. If you know anybody between 18 and 30, please let me know. Please send them to the event. And it's on our weekly newsletter. Like, it's hard. I don't know
always
how
kinda thought when I
forceful
read
to be.
that, I'm like, but you got it covered. I mean, this is nice for you to ask for our help, but like clearly you got this covered. That is completely
So I need more of a desperation.
Yeah.
In-
You meant all that
in the
more
communication.
transparency to the situation.
Did you ever try to see the young professionals that are teaching because we have so many teaching facilities in this area, universities, colleges, high schools, young people teaching there, your age,
Yeah.
just graduates, and it would be a very diversified group, and or parents that have their children working in some law firm or this
Yeah,
and that place, and just a network of people using the whole Rotary to connect with those young people, say, hey, here's a group, give to you, and give them your website or whatever, and see if that works. I mean, people go to church, there's a lot of kids that still graduated and work around here.
Yeah, so I actually have in a small group at church, and there's probably 5 or 6 of us girls, and I'm the only State Farmer there. Everybody else is teachers. So I was like, yeah, I'm so excited. Like, they can go to Rotaract, but it's still trying to find that hook of how do I get them there? Because
Yeah.
they're still like, but
We're so busy.
I
we're
was
so
gonna say,
busy.
Are they so busy because they're like working 2 jobs, like maybe they're teaching and then they're like at night they're working someplace else, or like because they have so much debt they have to pay off?
Yeah,
No,
so
I,
might be
yeah, I
part of
wasn't
it,
kidding.
yeah.
I was being
Yeah.
serious about it.
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever asked them.
What
why
else
are
are they
you so-
doing?
What are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good question to ask, because could we plug into that? because like what you were saying of you know people who are passionate about these one things and this could be an add-on. I want to help them with their passions. We want to
Yes. Pick your
help
passion.
that. Yeah, we want to pick the passion.
We're
we
ready
wanna,
to support it.
Right, exactly. I want to do what they want to do.
And that's what attracted the initial executive board. It was funny because they kept coming to Brittany and I that first year being like, well, we can't get like people to keep showing up to stuff. And Brittany and I kept saying, well, you're not doing the right event.
Yeah.
You're holding the event. Do whatever you want to do. I mean, maybe that's bowling. I don't know, but why are you having a bowling event that nobody comes to? Do your own event. I don't, maybe that's a house party. We don't care. How do you want us to help support build membership? And so I think we're all struggling with what is that attractive thing that gets you in the door? If it's not just resume building, how can we attract you to spend more time with us?
I just keep thinking back, 5 years ago in Effingham, which basically it's a community of 12,000, serving roughly 20, not near the size of Bloomington. The Chamber of Commerce formed a group called YB Next. And
We
their
have
goal-
the same group.
And the goal was to have 35 solid members at the end of 3 years. At the end of 3 years, they had 165 young
Wow.
entrepreneurs.
That's awesome.
Now, over this next 2 years, they've sustained at right around 130. But they meet not every month, but pretty well monthly. And they do the appetizer art. They all bring their laptops, smartphones. They've got some type of program they all tack into. And originally, they were just meeting, but now they've developed where they have 3 or 4 projects a year. So slowly, they build into a service.
Yeah.
So I guess my real point is don't press them too hard too early.
Start with social, and when you get that friendship going really strong, then develop into the service project.
Yeah.
Because friends having fun anyway, whether they're serving or they're just socializing, but when they're doing things together is what they really like.
Yeah, so something surprising for me is that our social events are like the least attended. I don't know why. We were like, why don't people want to come hang out with us? We don't get it. But I think the community service events we try to get the Midwest Food Bank where we are still doing stuff together and you can talk for the whole 2 hours. Habitat for Humanity where we're active but still being able to talk. Because I totally agree. I think that friendship is what it's going to get people. That's what's going to retain people. Is that you want to see those same people coming again and again. So.
If you got a solid 8 members going, just challenge them, say, we're gonna have this meeting, each of you bring 2 of your friends.
Yeah, I think that's another good idea.
We did that a couple of years. I will say that well gets dry pretty fast if you keep
Very
hitting
true.
it. And a couple of people expressed how awkward it was with that friend that now is trying to avoid them. They don't
Yeah.
come to the Rotaract meeting.
Yep. I got a couple
So
of those.
we did press that button pretty hard, but maybe I need to double down harder on Sunrise. My recent focus was find everybody under 30 in Sunrise and say, you gotta come to this Rotaract event. I need bodies, I need it to be a party, I need it to be something people wanna come to. And I did, that was a success. I'll keep doing that in part. We got 5 or 6 people from,
You can
but
check with
eventually we
Diane.
outnumbered the Rotaract number.
Yeah.
You can check
Yeah,
with
that's
about
true.
any Rotary club. And in my case, I might ask 20 people a year to join. Most of the time it's the dollar, because I'm talking to younger people. Rotaract's a good out for them because of your flexibility you have.
Yep.
And so that's an option I wish we had in Effingham, because most of them would YB Next, but we could build a Rotaract club to get the right leadership going. But it's your 30 and younger members, they have to have friends that they've asked, that they got that same reply. I just can't afford it. Because even in, I think your Sunrise Club, I've visited your club and I've talked to different members, both, gotta be careful here, both with the regular members and also about diversity. And in the case of diversity, we even talked about that particular individual starting his own club.
Mm.
So, I mean, there's different ways to approach building membership.
Yeah, and we last year charged $50 to each member, so we got all the way up to like $300 in the bank, and that's an annual membership, which I think made. I'm sure Rotary International wants us to charge more than that, but we were trying to make it,
Yeah.
you know, affordable and we thought I thought a little bit of the strategy was if they start to spend some of their own cash and stuff, then they may feel a little bit more. Yes,
Yeah.
now I've committed, so I'm going to keep
Get my
going.
money's worth.
Yes, yes.
The money from dues is not the thing unless you need it to support your projects, but time, it's the time of services is the sell.
Do you have any access to the records of people who were in Interact in high school for maybe the last 10 years, who may be in town?
We tried. Well, I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. I've scheduled multiple meetings with the Interact liaison from Central Catholic that we have, and I have to say, I don't want to. That's not a strong club. We largely keep that club alive for our Oktoberfest, which is this Sunday, tomorrow, for anybody who wants to do a 5K. And that, so my impression is, even the Interact Club, even the kids in the Interact Club are like, what's Interact? Oh, I'm in Interact? I thought I volunteered for Oktoberfest.
Oh, okay.
'Cause that's basically their only event.
That's interesting.
So another part of our youth services, Amber and I keep talking about that. We've got to steal Interact back from Central Catholic because we no longer have the huge control over what's going on there. But it would be a great idea. It'd be a great feeder if they went to ISU or Wesleyan or stayed in town or Heartland, and we can build them into Rotary. That is about all we have. Are you going to say something?
My mind is going into my brain is going. The meeting places sometimes vary here and there, and also the camaraderie that you develop, and that makes a big deal because there are a lot of young people that age that today they feel very lonely. I've talked to a lot of young people, including my grandson who's 20, and he says, I feel lonely even when I am among people because people are like this on their phones and they don't communicate anymore. And now these days, and another subject here, the Rotary International has been very flexible on the ages to either join the Rotary Club or the Interact, and the interactors can be in the club. So.
Well, Julie Dusky and I have talked about that a lot because she's like, oh, well, so they've finally spent membership fees on Rotaract, then they can come to any of our club's meetings. They can come anytime they want. We'll happily let them come to the, and I'm like, how many 18 to 30-year-olds you think want to come to a breakfast meeting at 7 a.m. every week?
Yeah, we have,
You know, and
5:30 to 6:30.
well, your husband gave me the same cell.
There you go.
That's
a good one.
And that's why we give a lot of money to the Rotary International. But the thing is, if you get the group, sometimes your program is just visiting different clubs.
Yeah, yep.
That is wonderful.
Yep.
Because they see that groups have, every club has its personality that's different, very different.
Yeah.
Now,
And that's something I've always struggled with. What is our culture? I mean, I think Sunset has a culture. Sunrise certainly has a culture. Each club has its own personality, and that's what keeps folks coming. For a couple of years, I didn't really know anybody really well. I knew who people were, and I knew, Jim's the funny one, and she's gonna, and I knew that sort of superficial things, and it took me a while to really organically build relationships, but I kept coming because I learned something, I had a good time, I learned something about my community, felt like I was making an impact, certainly in our community service. We're struggling to build that attractive culture, that club personality. Bailey's got a great personality, so I'm optimistic with our 2020. No pressure.
And we
No
are
pressure.
very ethnic diverse in our club. We have 22 members, but a lot of us are from different countries. Yeah, and so it's important to go and visit different. They have this idea, this age, wow, we can join after this, we can join one of those, or whatever, but
we have talked about location.
Yes, we have talked about location, because,
Because we love that location.
yeah,
but-
it's great.
And it's free. The
And
price
it's
is
free,
right.
we love the price.
But is that keeping people from?
Right. Would it be better if we went to a brewery? And,
No,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Right
if
there.
you
That
keep
sounds
your
like you might be a
location,
winner.
Right. It's all about the brewery.
Look at me there.
Kid Grove, plenty of places to sit
Laura
around.
and Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Keg Grove, I mean, they have plenty of space up there, and
Just to make you feel better about your Interact comment, having heard many speakers in several different clubs over the decades, I'm always surprised when I hear a speaker see some Interact program, aspect of our program, and then comment that when they were in high school, or they were in Interact, but never realized that it was part of Rotary.
Yes.
You're not unique,
Yes.
far from it.
Yes. And I mean, we have the same problem with Rotaract. Oh, it's part of Rotary.
yeah.
So we got to change the name. But if we can't
Or
change
just-
the name,
Yeah, get a name and it's a sub-name.
yeah, a subsidiary of
Yeah.
Rotary.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be a legality in there I can find. Some bylaw workaround.
Yeah.
One thing I haven't heard in what you're wanting to accomplish and do, you're a Rotarian, but you're part of their leadership. Have someone from your club come in and talk about different aspects of Rotary. What is Rotary that you're actually really a part of?
Yeah, technically I did that once.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And it killed.
Yeah, it was like one of the best ones of the year, for sure.
But maybe we need to do it again,
Yeah.
because making sure everyone understands that link is important.
Make sure it's one of your younger Rotarians that come in and not me.
We'll try. Yeah.
I don't know, though, one of my favorite things about Rotaract is the intergenerational part of it, that we get to learn from the Rotarians, wherever they're at, so.
Well, thank you guys for coming
Yeah,
in.
thank you.
You got some great ideas.
It's not all doom and gloom, we're excited for this year, we are excited.